Welcome to the Rusty Garage and Homestead. My name is Mike. Today's video, we're going to be working on the pallet forks for our little tractor. Pallet forks are already extremely versatile. If you don't have a grapple, they work great for picking up logs, moving stuff around. You can pick up brush with them. Pallets, whenever we go and get feed anymore, now that we have pallet forks, I have all the feed put on a pallet just so I can unload it quick and easy with the tractor. But in today's video, I've got something quick and easy that we're going to do to the pallet forks to make them even more versatile and more useful around the farm. So let me show you what that is. So what can you do to your pallet forks to make them even more useful? Take a cutting torch to them. Now, let me explain, because I know I'm going to get some comments about the integrity, how I'm ruining it, this and that. Well, what we're going to be doing shouldn't really affect the integrity of the forks at all, because you shouldn't be picking up things on the end of your forks for one. But what we're basically going to do is find us a spot up here on the end, and we're going to blow a hole in it. And I'll show you why here in a second when we're done. Because every tractor owner should have some sort of ball in their toolbox or stuck on their tractor somewhere. So let me get the size of this. We'll get the circle cutter set on the torch and figure out where we want to put this thing. Okay, so basically all I'm doing is I'm going to get the size of this, and I'm going to set this from the center of the tip to that anchor point. I'm going to set it half of whatever it is. That looks like it's right at an inch. And I want a little leeway, no reason for it to be tight. So I'm gonna go 1 1/8 to set this. So half of that's gonna be, sorry, gotta do some math. 1.125, divide that by 2. So 0.562, which is gonna be, I like to keep these around because I can't remember things as well as my father can. 0.562 is 9/16. That's probably upside down for you. But that's going to be half of 1 1/8. So we're going to set this to 9/16. And that's going to be as easy as loosen left this. And I need to find where 9/16 is there. I wish this thing had normal measurements on both sides. It's got millimeters on one side, which is helpful. But for what I'm wanting to do, there's 9/16 right there. I'll take my little Nip-X pliers. Leave links to these down in the pinned comment because these are extremely handy. Okay, the next step is going to be figuring out exactly where we want to put it and get a center punch mark for that anchor to sit in. So let me get this cleaned off, and we'll get a tape measure, kind of make sure we're in the center punch it, and we'll be good to go. So all we're going to do here, pick a good spot. Thinking 3 inches. I don't know. That's probably going to be fine. We'll do 3 inches. Something else, if you mess with metal a lot, these Silver Streak pins or pencils, real handy. Okay, and we're looking at almost 100 millimeters wide. Not quite 100. 99. Okay, this is going to be close enough. We're going to put it at 50. Take this. These are hard, so I wanted to find something that I could make sure I can make a mark with it. And we have a mark. Okay, let's blow a hole in that thing. And also, showed you that. Works real good, writing on steel. They've got a pro version. It's got a sharpener in the rear, and you can hold some more lead and stuff, but they both work really good. I'll leave links to these down the pinned comment. Okay, this torch has not been hooked up in a while, and I've got 100 foot of hose on this thing, so it always takes a minute to get it going. Should have had the air crack for a minute too. Okay, let me grab some glasses real quick. Now that we know that'll fire right up, get some glasses, we'll get a hole blowed in that. I'll bring you guys in closer so you can watch me do it. And anytime I'm cutting, I like using dark. These are a Arc 1. These are actual cutting torch glasses, just so I'm not blind whenever I'm through cutting. This is fairly thick and there's a lot of steel here, so I'm gonna crank this up a little harder than I normally would. Nope, that ain't gonna work. Wasn't paying attention when I tightened that down. This anchor needs to be that way, so I'm gonna have to loosen up, remeasure it real quick. There's our center punch mark. So I'm just gonna roll this thing around here because this is gonna be cold. I probably should have went a little bit further. But we'll make it work. Trying to figure out where it's holding, right here at the back. Don't pick that up. It's still hot. I guess before I get too far ahead of myself. Oh yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Okay, now the only other thing I need to do, I'm going to start the tractor up and curl these things back because there's going to be a bunch of slag here on the bottom. I'll take my slag hammer, try to knock most of it off. If I can, I'll take a grinder, flat disc, and smooth it up. And it's not too bad. Slag hammer should take care of all that. Okay, anything I'm using, I will leave links to down there. But this S-Twing slag hammer is by far the favorite slag hammer I've ever purchased. And not too bad. And let's just double check with the ball. This isn't the ball I'm going to be using because I couldn't find a die to clean those threads up. I did clean these threads up. I had a 1" by 14 tap Did not have a die for that. That'll be fine. I'll get a new ball that I can just thread up on there real easy, and we'll have this to go on the machine whenever we need it. Got one little piece of slag on the top side I need to get. Good as gold right there. All right, well, that legitimately is going to make these things a whole lot more handy. You can have a ball in your toolbox or throw it up on the deck of your tractor. And if you need to go out in the pasture and move a trailer, pick up on it real quick, drag it around, that's your ticket. That's a whole lot quicker than going to get the side-by-side, the four-wheeler, the truck. You can use these holes for other things. Let me show you another use. Okay, depending where you're at, what you're doing, you can put a clevis in something like this. Not this clevis though, but if you're out somewhere and you need to pull on something, or I don't know, I mean, yeah, you got the back of the tractor, or you could wrap a chain around the mast, which is probably better, but this isn't something that you're going to want to just pick up, you know, the absolute heaviest stuff you can from this lifting point. This is for lighter weight stuff like trailers, doing different things like that, but it is real nice when you're out in the pasture and you need to move something, wood splitter, trailer, whatever. It's really nice and quick and easy to just throw a ball on here. These are the longer forks, so I can see them from up there just fine. I can go put it right where it needs to be, pick it up off the tongue, or pick the jack off the ground and move it where I need to. So if you're worried about the structural integrity, probably shouldn't be picking up something that heavy from the tips of these. Warranty, yeah, I'm sure that voided any sort of warranty. I don't think these had any warranty on them, but I don't care. This made it more useful for me, for my application. So I've been wanting to do this for a little while. I'm gonna need it here soon, so figured I'd go ahead and get this put in. But everyone, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. It's not that hard to do. You could drill it. I could use the mag drill and drill a hole in this, and then that would have been just fine. But torch, I don't know. I haven't used it in a while. I want to use a torch. And I want to show you all the circle burners. So worked out real good for this. This is a little thicker, real thick back here. But yeah, those circle burners work great. But I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Now, I just thought of something. Yes, I do know they make attachments out of rectangle tube that you can slide up on the forks, tighten it down, and it's got a receiver hitch and different things like that in it. You can build something like that if you want, and that probably isn't a bad idea. Like I said, this needs to be a lightweight deal because you will bend a fork if you pick up too much on one side. That's where the jigs or the assemblies where it takes both forks. You got to move both forks together, which is a little bit of a pain sometimes, but then slide that on there, and it's got a receiver hitch on it, and it kind of locks down to the fork. So that is another option, but this is quick and easy. I'm going to use it to move trailers around, so works for me.